we have a new video coming out in the fall on the new evangelization. And it was born of these trips I made last year to Australia and England. I was invited there to roll out my previous series, the Catholicism series, and I gave 2 weeks of talks in Australia, 2 weeks of talks in England. So we brought the crew over, many of the same people that made the Catholicism series, and they filmed me, but also we talked to people on the ground. We talked to church leaders in those two very secularized countries, just to ask about, what's going on and what can we do. And then we talked to a lot of people in the States once we got back home. So the video is a more classic documentary style. The Catholicism series was, just my one voice taking us through the whole thing. This one's a group of voices, and trying to show new ardor, new expressions, new method, the three things that John Paul said we need, and what that means and where it's happening on the ground. Australia is a notoriously secular country, and you read all the stats and all that's true. But we went to Sydney and Melbourne and Brisbane and Ballarat and Canberra, which is the capital. We went all over Australia, and we got a very good response. Wherever I was speaking, we had good crowds and a fair amount of enthusiasm. World Youth Day had a big impact on Australia. It still does. Now, 5 years later, and that galvanized and energized a lot of the church there. So we saw a lot of signs of life. England too, very secularized country. I was especially impressed by the seminaries in England. These young guys who were thinking about the priesthood, and picked up a lot of energy from them. But it's a struggle certainly for Catholicism to find traction in these secular environments. Our country, of course, the same thing. It's a mixed bag. You look at the stats, and those are borne out in many ways. But then you see lots of signs of life on the ground. So we're trying to identify those and encourage them.